I appreciate you coming down here, Mrs. Parr.
What's this about? Has Dash done something wrong?
He's a disruptive influence, and he openly mocks me in front of the class.
He says.
Look, I know it's you. He puts thumbtacks on my stool.
You saw him do this?
Well, not really. No, actually not.
Oh, then how do you know it was him?
I hit a camera. Yeah, and this time I've got him. See? You see? Oh, you don't see it?
He moves right there. Wait.
Right there!
Right as I'm sitting down.
I don't know how he does it. But there's no tack on my stool before he moves, and after he moves, there's a tack. Coincidence? I think not!
Bernie,
Don't Bernie me!
This little rat is guilty.
you and your son can go now, Mrs. Parr. I'm sorry for the trouble.
You're letting him go again? He's guilty! You can see it on his smug little face! Guilty! I say guilty! Guilty! No!
Pick up the pace! Come on! No! Pull back! Patient! Slow down just a little bit! Don't give up! Make it close! Second play! Close second! Yeah! That's my boy!
Dash, I'm so proud of you.
What the heck you wanted me to do?
Hello everyone, this is Cosmic Kitsuname, and today I'm going to be talking about the education system, in particular the West, and why I often tell people to just go get a trade. And when you're doing that, still continue whatever hobbies or something that you like to do or want to do on top of that. Life is very short, and you don't want to wait until you're in the middle of it to decide, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. The idea is to have as little regrets as possible. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have regrets. That's just a part of life. It's good to vent. It's good to let off steam. And the reason I talk about this is because when I was a kid, I bought into a lot of crap that I shouldn't have bought into. But when you're a kid, you don't know. But at the same time, I was taught values, old school values that aren't very relevant anymore. They're important, but not really being shown anymore. And so instead of changing my values, I just learned to continue to do what I need to do and do for me. And I find it funny because when I was growing up, we had better teachers for a while, and then when I hit high school, that's when things started to get really crazy. There were times where you could see two kids fighting, and the only time the teacher ever stepped in was to defend the bully. Which makes sense because they have to protect their own and whatnot, I guess. And through stuff like that happening, as well as some of the stuff I've seen in college, I wasn't surprised. When I was going to college, you would think a lot of the lunacy would end there, but it was really just high school 2.0. Colleges, universities, and all that, they've become giant daycare centers. And it isn't just the students either, it's the teachers. And when it comes to such teachers, I have no idea how many of them were ever allowed to teach anything. And there's a reason while I'm going down this road here. When you're born, your parents teach you, for better or worse, about life, the world, family stuff. And it's up to you at some point to decide what you value, what's important to you, and what you wish to promote or carry on or whatever. And college was very strange for me because I never once changed the way I felt about things. Yeah, I got a chance to learn about different aspects, but it was very rare that my mind ever changed about anything. And the reason is because when you have a strong sense of character and you know who you are, more importantly, you won't have that problem. It's very easy to just put all of the blame on the education system, but a lot of that has to do with piss poor parenting and kids growing up and not knowing how to use their mind or use their brain. And this is why the same people you'll see who'll dye their hair blue or something, they'll be one way another minute, and then they'll grow their hair out and go, oh, I'm conservative now, or something like that. Oh, that was a phase. You shouldn't be going through a series of phases in college. That's what high school was for. And it's okay for people to reinvent themselves, but it's absolutely embarrassing and downright delusional when you have people that walk around attempting to change you. I remember one time I had a psychology teacher who every time I wrote down the word mankind, she kept changing it. She kept I can't even believe this. I'm trying not to laugh about this. She kept adding the word humankind next to it. And so I go up to her and I ask her, why am I getting marked off for this? And she said, because that's the incorrect way to say it. By whose standard? Oh, by mine. Okay. So, is me saying it this way offensive? No, it's just incorrect. Once again, how is it incorrect? Because people have been saying it this way for a long time. And this goes to what I'm saying here. You don't get to rewrite the laws of reality, nor do you get to come up with these silly new words to try to replace my vocabulary. It's the same as if I use an abbreviation or a word to describe men or women. That's like saying, oh, you can't call this person a dude. Well, it really depends on where you are. And if getting called dude offends you, then you have some serious problems. You have more problems than I'm willing to deal with. And it sounds real personal. Might want to take care of that somewhere else. And preferably not around me. And what I find so odd to this day is there are many people that suffer from the Dunning-Kruger effect, to where they will use all of these fancy words, but they can't help themselves to any degree. They can't think for themselves, they can't do anything for themselves, and everything they say just sounds like it's parroted off of somebody else. It's okay to like someone. It's okay to want to say, okay, I want to be more like that. It's another thing when you try to model your entire life off of that. Be the best you can be, not the best other or extra or whatever. Because if you live your life as an extra, you'll never amount to anything. Be the main character in your own life. Don't try to be the main character in other people's lives. It doesn't work. It won't work. And even if it did, no one's happy in the transaction of that. It solves nothing. It fixes nothing. And I can't even stop laughing about the crazy experiences I've had. Hate I even went. If I can go back in time, I would have gotten a trade. Another crazy thing that happened to me was I went to this philosophy class, and I kid you not, the first time we see this guy, he walks in and for about 10-15 minutes was talking about his travels, his accolades, and everything. Could have just took a 5 minutes, mention your name and a little bit about yourself. That'd have been it. But he just had to do this. And there was times where there was no set in time for his class, really. It was always that 10-minute float time. And so I rarely ever had to leave early, but the one day I did have to leave early, well, me and a few others, he then throws out this pop quiz. A quiz that he should be giving in the middle of class, not the end. As said so in the syllabus, these like Wile E. Coyote cartoon syllabuses or whatever. And so he thought that bothered me. It didn't. At that point, I had already mentally checked out of that class and thought it was the funniest thing in the world. But you have professors who will engage in emotional and mental warfare with you, which is the most pathetic thing anybody can do. If you don't like somebody, you don't like somebody. Better yet, just tell them not to come back. I would respect a teacher more if they have the balls to just do that. But oftentimes they don't. And this is what happens when you go through an education system that is so passive aggressive. And I really just want to say, don't care if it gets me in trouble, just hyper emotional, downright effeminate, to where this is considered a normal act. And what's even funnier, this third story I'm about to tell you, speaking of which, was one of the funniest things I've ever encountered. I had this speech teacher, and because of this idiot, I went off to become better at speaking. Granted, I'm not the best public speaker, I'm not a politician, I'm not the most savvy person, I will admit that, but I'm able to get my point across. I remember this was the first time I'd ever received a very bad grade. And this teacher eventually got it because he kept messing with people. Guy comes in there, brags about how he almost died because he kept trying to play emotional warfare with some other kid. I think it was some Russian kid or something. So there's a huge cultural difference there. And he's making off like it's funny. And this will be a precursor to a later video, but yeah, these are the type of things that can get you in massive trouble. Me, I don't play it. I never have, never will. It's one thing if you don't like someone, you're just shooting the shit or lobbing insults. It's another when you're trying to play that kind of game. When someone attempts to do stuff like that, and not in your typical way, like in a very low down, dirty way, it's the most weaselly thing to do. And you shouldn't respect someone that does something like that. You should, in fact, just look down on them. This guy thought he was going to waste my time as I was walking to another class. I walked right past him, didn't even think about it. That was the first time. Second time, I almost knocked him completely over. And now, when that happened, after the second time, he never crossed my path after that. Once I'm done with something, I'm done with it. It doesn't matter whether I'm in the right, whether I'm in the wrong. I move on. You give it the old 1-2 and you move on. And what's silly to me is how you have people that want to keep stuff going years after the fact. It's not new. What happened, happened. Let's move on. You don't like me? Cool. Let's move on. But now we live in an age where everything and anything will be used against you, even if you say nothing. Oh, this person didn't believe in what I believed in. Okay, and they don't have to. Nobody can reprogram your kid if they already know who they are. And the only type of people that can be easily reprogrammed are insecure people. And this one also will get mad at my speech pattern. When you control words and how people talk and what they say and everything, that's not freedom. I understand if something is truly offensive or like certain slurs, that's understandable. But also, you have to take into the situation the context. I don't want to listen to a censored rap song. If they want to make a censored version of it, that's fine, but I don't want to listen to my song censored. Defeats the purpose. How can you fully like a song when you're so scared to listen to the uncensored version of it? I want to be able to embrace whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm listening to, and be happy with that. But by the same token, if a person's listening to a type of song or type of music, they shouldn't try to get silly and think they're going to live that life. Understand the difference between reality and fantasy. I mean, I still like video games, but realistically, I have to balance out playing games and exercising and stuff like that. It doesn't take away from your other responsibilities. Being able to decide what's a need and what's a want is important. And that's what really matters. And that's something that you can't really teach. So it's important to be able to learn and grow. And even when you're presented with a bad example or a song or whatever, take the positive that you can out of it and apply it to your own life. You don't need to be like a sponge. You don't have to get rid of everything to maintain one thing, or vice versa. This is why accountability and responsibility are very important things to have a good grasp on. If you have that and you live by a decent moral code, you'll have less problems in the long run. But it has to be something that you crafted and something that you are able to live by. So never force yourself in anything. Never let other people try to force you into some kind of glass jar. Because growing up, I had the problem of not fitting it. I did my own thing, didn't really give a crap how other people felt. And it's not like I was trying to break out of that every time. I just seeped out. And I just seemed to bother others. Whether you want to go into entertainment or accomplish something big, that does require, to some degree, being different. Whether you're naturally that way, whether you're trying to learn to improve yourself, everyone advances at their own pace or level. Can't really force that, but you shouldn't be trying to run an epic crash course or slow it down either. And before I end with this clip, something I want to hammer in while I'm here. Never let anyone talk to you as if they're paying you when you're paying them to teach you. And that really goes for anything, because I've had to check a few, well, actually quite a lot of professors for that. You dare to disagree, or you ask a question, or hell, you even come in the room like a minute late and they make a big Broadway production out of it. It's not funny, it's not cool. This isn't High School 2.0, and you can't learn from a person like that. Many of them have absolutely nothing to teach, truth be told. And this is why we have a generation of people raising and teaching themselves. There are some things that help when you have a positive role model to teach you. There are some things you can only learn on your own. But when you don't have any of the necessary tools, you become self-taught. And until you're given a valid reason to change that method, you will continue to use that method. Why? Because it works. So if you want people to change, You have to be that change. You have to inspire that change. And even if they don't, you have to continue doing what you got to do. And that's what I want anyone watching this video to take away from this. And like with any message, be it good or bad, or if the example is bad or whatever, take the positivity you can out of it and apply it to your own life. Anyway, take care and peace.
Hearing this freaking lady go off on kids because they don't freaking get this crap. If you would just get up and teach them instead of handing them a freaking packet, yo. There's kids in here who don't learn like that. They need to learn face to face. You're just getting mad because I'm pointing out the obvious and you're too late.
Wasting my time.
No, I'm not wasting your time. I'm telling you what you need to do.
Get out.
You want kids to come into your class, you want them to get excited
come
for
to
this,
B1
you gotta come in here, you gotta make them excited. You want a kid to change and start doing better, you gotta touch his freaking heart. Can't expect a kid to change if all you do is just tell him.
Bye.
You gotta take this job serious. This is the future of this nation. And when you come in here, like you did last time, and make a statement about, oh, this is my paycheck, indeed it is. But this is my country's future and my education.
I respect that. Can you go outside, please?
Squad
I got things
But there's
to
a
do.
limit. When I'm not bitching, but simply making an observation.
Okay.
And now I will leave. You're welcome.
Good, bye.
And if you would like, I'll teach you a little more so you can actually learn how to teach a freaking class. Because since I got here, I've done nothing but read packets. So don't try and take credibility for teaching me jack.
Just go. Bye. Close the door.
Little baby.
Bro, how retarded is you gonna be to get fired from that job? I mean, how hard is it to push a motherfucking broom around
you
the
got
room?
fired from pushing the fucking broom.
I get fired because management was restructuring.
Yeah, restructuring the amount of retards they're working for.
Shut up. You get canned more than tuna, bitch.
I got a motherfucking job right now, don't I?
Yeah.
Why did you get fired, Will? Come on. Management was restructuring.
My uncle could probably get you on a demo tape.
Can't do that?
You kidding me? I asked you yesterday if I could get a job.
And I told you no yesterday.
What's up, Case? What's up, Case?
What's up, big case?
Sit over here. You got the grammar, huh? This is hard instruction.
This is a Harvard bar, huh?
I thought there'd be like equations and shit on the walls.
I will take a picture of the finest lager in the house.
Time out. I'm gonna have to bust a little move on them Harvard honeys down the end of the bar. Work some magic.
Get some pussy, Buster. Help you out.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Fine.
So do you ladies,
Come here often?
do I come here? I come here a bit. I'm here, you know, from time to time. Do you go to school here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. So I think I had a class with you.
Oh, yeah? What class?
History.
Maybe.
Yes, I think that's what it was. You don't necessarily might not remember me. You know, I like it here. It doesn't mean because I go here I'm a genius. I am very smart. Hey, how's it going? How are you?
Good, how you doing?
You want it?
I don't. What class did you say that was?
History. Yeah.
Just history? It must have been a survey course then, huh?
Yeah, it was. It was surveys.
Right.
You should check it out. It's a good course. It's good, be a good class.
How'd you like that course?
You know, frankly, I found the class, you know, rather elementary.
Elementary. You know, I don't doubt that it was.
Yeah.
I remember that class. It was just between recess and lunch.
Clark, why don't you go away?
Why don't you relax?
Why not go away?
I'm just having fun with my new friend, that's all.
Wait, we could have a problem?
No,
I don't understand.
there's no problem here. I was just hoping you might give me some insight into the evolution of the market economy in the southern colonies. My contention is that prior to the Revolutionary War, the economic modalities, especially in the southern colonies, could most aptly be characterized as agrarian pre-capital.
All right, of course that's your
Hang on a
contention.
second.
You're a first-year grad student. You just got finished reading some Marxian historian, Pete Garrison probably. You're gonna be convinced of that till next month when you get to James Lemon. Then you're gonna be talking about how the economies of Virginia and Pennsylvania were entrepreneurial and capitalist way back in 1740. That's gonna last until next year. You're gonna be in here regurgitating Gordon Wood, talking about, you know, the pre-revolutionary utopia and the capital-forming effects of military mobilization.
Well, as a matter of fact, I won't, because Wood drastically underestimates the impact of social...
Wood drastically underestimates the impact of social distinctions predicated upon wealth, especially inherited wealth. You got that from Vickers. Work in Essex County, page 98, right? Yeah, I read that too. Were you gonna plagiarize the whole thing for us? Do you have any thoughts of your own on this matter? Or is that your thing? You come into a bar, you read some obscure passage, and then pretend you pawn it off as your own idea just to impress some girls, embarrass my friend? See, the sad thing about a guy like you is in 50 years, you're gonna start doing some thinking on your own, and you're gonna come up with the fact that there are two certainties in life. One, don't do that. And two, you dropped 150 grand on a fucking education you could have got for $1.50 in late charges at the public library.
Yeah, but I will have a degree. And you'll be serving my kids fries at a drive-thru on our way to a skiing trip.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but at least I won't be unoriginal. But I mean, if you have a problem like that, I mean, we could just step outside. We could figure it out.
Oh, man, there's no problem. It's cool.
It's cool?
Yeah.
Cool.
Fucking damn right it's cool. How you like me now? My boy's wicked smart. Nice, like 3 minutes this fucking play.
When I was growing up, every one of y'all was doubting me. Now that I'm here, all of a sudden you were proud of me. I can't even blame you. I didn't believe in myself. I was frightened by what I would soon achieve. Look at me, just a scrawny little kid without a quirk. And when I was chosen, didn't really think that this'll work. Bakugo, he was the fittest, even though he was a jerk. All I did was study perks. What a tiny little twerp. I was scared, but was brave when I had the opportunity to save another life. Never hesitate, presumably. Deep inside, I was a hero, but I didn't recognize the passion that I have when it comes to saving other lives. Me getting the quirk wasn't something we would publicize. I would never be a superhero, not in others' eyes. So I stayed in the shadows, hoping I could fly. I was chosen, but most of the time I wondered why. I was laughed at, now it's my time. Took a mad act, and I left blind. Cause he chose me, and I couldn't see why. It was all might, so I would at least try. And he told me it's not about where you're at, it is where you're gonna be if you were given a chance. It is where you're gonna be if you were given the task. So I'm giving you the quirk, I know it's in good hands. Yo, he would train me, and as I grew strong, I grew closer to the day I've been praying for too long. It didn't even matter that they thought I was a joke. I was standing with my hero, my abilities awoken. Started off slow, I was learning how to manage it. Backing with brandishing scars and wrapping bandages. But I would never break, I just rallied through the damages. I took my own path, didn't follow other passages. Who would think little punk without advantages would be the symbol of peace, uncomfortable with as it is. Everybody's tough when the going isn't rough. Who you are will really show when you're fighting your imbalances. Breaks and mistakes, all I ever did was fight. I don't do it for the love, I just do it cause it's right. I just did it for the plight of the people who would die. Now they won't, and I fight because I'm the reason why. I was laughed at, now it's my time. Took a mad act, and I left blind. Cause he chose me, and I couldn't see why. It was all might, so I would at least try. And he told me it's not about where you're at, it is where you're gonna be if you were given a chance. It is where you're gonna be if you were given the task. So I'm giving you the quirk, I know it's in good good hands. Then you came into my life and I knew I would die to protect you from what you've been through. We have failed you, left you in the grasp of a man who betrayed you. You'll never have to ask me again, I will save you. Plow through the blood and the pain, Mirio, night eye, you will not be in vain. I will carry on your legacy, starting with the enemy. Overhaul, you have helped me double my intensity. Push me to my limits, using Ari as a medic, and it's fitting she's the key to your demise. How poetic, I can push it even further now that I will make it. Then I'll go to 50, then to 80, up to 100%. And you will cower at the greatest hero that you've ever met. You have bullied, you have tortured, now you're paying for the debt. Full cower, little deckles here and coming to collect. You will never hurt again, I am coming for your neck. I was laughed at, now it's my time. Took a mad act, and I left blind. Cause he chose me, and I couldn't see why. It was all might, so I would at least try. And he told me it's not about where you're at, it is where you're gonna be if you were given a chance. It is where you're gonna be if you were given the task. So I'm giving you the quirk, I know it's in good